to this live. Welcome. Welcome to this live. I came to win, to fly, to conquer, to fly. I came to. Anyway, let me play a little song I've been working on before I get ready to get into this conversation. You know, I'll be liking to use this live time for rehearsal as well. Rehearse something new I've been working on. You know what? I'll just save that to the end. Let me go ahead and talk about this now. So, I want to talk about my views. Like I started talking about this last name. This is the third time that I will be putting up this video because I did it one time on Facebook. I had a troll on the end, and also I had to delete it because of the troll. But I noticed that when I deleted the video, ever since then my engagement on Facebook has been lower because I talked about some things that I guess maybe I wasn't supposed to talk about. So I did it when here last night, and it was it just wasn't getting, like I did the playback, and it was dragging, and it was making this crazy noise, and so I'm gonna try it again today, and we're gonna see what's going on when I try it again today. So I've been following Yee and what he's been doing. And just like with Whitney Houston, when Whitney Houston was out there, you know what I'm saying, doing her thing, getting high, living her best life, I didn't judge her, and I didn't judge Whitney because I don't have a place to judge, you know what I'm saying? I be hearing prophets and preachers and stuff on the street talking about people selling their soul, and even some of us when we're trying to make a point in the industry, we'll talk about people selling their soul and stuff. And honestly, I don't really think you could sell your soul. I think you could rent it out. You know what I'm saying? I think you can definitely rent your soul out, but I don't really think you could sell it unless your way of thinking, your way of moving, and your way of operating continues to align with with that identity you had when you made the bargain. In other words, if you never grow beyond past the point of who you were when you bargained yourself, then if that's all you are, then yeah, I'll agree you sold your soul. But if you evolve past that and you become somebody different, you learn from that experience, you grow, you transition on to do new and different things. You get to this place where you can share your truth, where you can open up, where you can talk about what's going on with you. I definitely don't see that, as selling your soul, I think you definitely can rent yourself out, but the soul is, on a journey, it's ever evolving, it's ever growing, it's ever changing. And so I think that if you evolve past who you were at the moment when you did whatever it was that you did, like you grew past that, I don't understand how it could be viewed as selling your soul, you know. To me, if you sell your soul, your views have to align with the same way you were when you made the bargain. I rationalize this all the time, and I hear people talking about selling your soul, but people do things when they're young. People do things before they even get their critical thinking matter. People do things when they're 20, 21 years old, 22 years old, 18 years old, 17 years old. Like, really? You sold your soul before you even got your critical thinking matter? Come on now. That just doesn't seem like something that the divine would allow. You know what I'm saying? It does not seem. It seems like a rigged game, and Like we have to play rigged games in this matrix, but I wouldn't think that we wouldn't be playing a celestial game, a spiritual game that was rigged. This matrix is rigged, but I definitely don't believe that the divine would have us to play a rigged game. You feel me? But anyway, with this thing with, you know, like I hear people, talking about selling your soul and all of that, and I just think that we are all designed for a certain path. We're experiencing and learning, and we are built to do. We're built for whatever it is that we do. Like we're built for that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that we choose to do. If somebody come on here, please let me know if you hear me and I'm just talking and you can't hear me. Like leave a comment because y'all will come on here and won't say nothing. And then I won't know if you can hear me. But yeah. So that's the thing with that. But as far as with Kanye, well, with Ye, Papa Doug, you know, I think it's Slim Thug. I've been hearing talking about this situation, but like, I'm really, I really like am in a good place with what I'm hearing some people talk about, because you wouldn't expect for as many, you know, to be conscious, or to be aware. I don't really get into the whole woke culture because, there's levels to being woke, you know. And a lot of us who be talking aloud is like we literally, just woke up from that nap. And I know because I was in that space before, when I first started really paying attention and started being conscious of what was going on around me, I couldn't shut up. And if you woke, that don't mean that you should stop listening. That don't mean that you should stop trying to hear and pay attention to what's going on around you. If you awoke, that's all the more reason to listen more. So that you can have better understanding from what it is that you hear. So being woke is not always about talking. Being woke is also about being able to listen and hear those things that perhaps you didn't hear before, see those signs that perhaps you weren't paying attention to before, amen and woman. So, anyway, I am a firm believer in giving people enough rope to hang themselves. Um, and I think that we all have a role to play. We all have a part to play. Ye is worth $11 billion. He is the richest recorded Negro, in American history, his story. Um, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. And I think that his arrogance makes people even more uncomfortable. But in order for him to get to where he's gotten, it requires ego. It requires arrogance. And if you ask me, anybody who has a social media has to be a bit of a narcissist. Well, we love throwing that word around. And America, you know, America, the Vatican, any institution or organization that you could think of, it started off as a cult. So to call someone a cult leader, um, we have this thing where we like to paint this negative picture of people who are leaders, and who have the power to bring people together and to guide people, and we like to paint this negative picture of them. But a cult is not a negative thing. It's the intentions of the person who is leading the cult, or the intentions of the one who is guiding the cult. If you're trying to make everybody drink Kool-Aid and kill themselves, and you haven't totally explained to them the assignment and let them know that this is the end goal, then that's when we have to question what it is that you're doing in creating this cult. But to me, all of these sororities, all of these fraternities, these are cults. So we try to start off that, try to make people look negative when they have the type of ambition that, pulls them to guide others or to be at the forefront. And I think in a lot of cases, we are starting to confuse influencers with leaders. See, influencers have the power to influence the masses, but leaders or guides are the ones who are not afraid to say those things and to do those things, and to infiltrate those spaces and places that are necessary in order to push us to that next level. You know, um, but influencers, they recognize, leadership. They recognize those who have the ability to guide, and they use their influence to 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 share their views about certain leaders, a man and woman. So yeah, I feel like kind I feel like Ye wants to be the president of the United States, and I feel like he's doing a lot of trolling. I think he learned some things from Donald Trump. I think he was paying attention because Donald Trump trolled the shit out this country when he was in office. But I think he learned some things from Donald Trump. I think he's learned some things from being around people who have, all of this money, and he's learned, how to puppeteer people's emotions. And I feel like the thing that happened with Drink Champs, I feel like, I personally feel like, wait, hold on. I personally feel like what happened with Drink Champs was, I mean, I feel like them apologizing for Ye, I think that was, I personally, I just don't understand it. I don't have the words for it because everybody know how Ye is. Everybody know that this was the same person who ran on the stage, you know, with damn near 20 years ago and called out, what's her name? What's that white girl name? And told her the award was for Beyonce. I mean, like, he have not delineated from this character and this personality. Like, he's been consistent throughout his whole career. We never know what's gonna come out his mouth. And so to bring him on your show and to get comfortable enough to get cocktail, I think I think he was so nervous or he was so worried that he did the opposite of what he's supposed to do. Maybe he drunk a little bit more than he should have because of his nerves, and perhaps that wasn't the route to take. I also wonder if I could play devil's advocate for a second, if all of this wasn't a part, of the bigger plan. Like, if the plan wasn't to let, Ye come on, let him do the interview, then delete the video, then apologize, just so the message could be out there, and then delete the video and apologize to avoid a lawsuit. Like, this could have been the strategy behind the scenes. We're gonna let Ye come on. We're gonna let you do the video. We're gonna let you say whatever it is that you want to say. We're gonna let you get it all out, and then we're gonna turn around and pretend like, you know, we were shocked, and we're gonna apologize, and then we're gonna delete the video. But we ain't gonna delete the video until it's already out there. People are gonna be able to see it. The truth's gonna be out there. But we don't have to deal with the lawsuit. So, this could all be a strategic move behind the scene, um, to just to get the message out there and to avoid lawsuits. I really been having to rethink my views on Candace Owens lately because she's intelligent, she's thorough, she's articulate, and she have her own opinions, and people could say what they want to say about her, but it's not the same thing as a Hitler. Candace Owens and Hitler are not the same thing. Um, Candace Owens and Jeffrey Dahmer are not the same thing. You know, so like she's just a product of her environment, and I feel like all of these people are necessary in order for us to discover the truth. We have to think like judges. When a judge is deliberating in order to find out the truth, a judge has to hear from defense, and they also have to hear from the prosecutor. The judge has to hear both sides of the story in order to really establish what the truth is. Amen and woman. So, and that was the beautiful thing about our generation. You know, we grew up in a generation where you had to play both sides of the tape. Not like these, we went on to the CDs and then we went to the jump drives and now we just started streaming. And so in this society today, everything is kind of one dimensional. But when we were coming up, you had to play both sides of the tape in order to get all of the information, and you had to play both sides of the tape from beginning to end in order to get all of the information. And so this generation doesn't really have that. It wasn't really ingrained in their psyche to look at things from both sides, to not just listen to the whole tape, but to listen to both sides of the whole tape. This generation doesn't have, the wisdom and the knowledge that we were able to gain simply because we had to have patience with things. It was a little bit more difficult. Everything wasn't as convenient. Everything wasn't just at your fingertips. But slow eating is good eating. Sometimes the best things take time. Good things come to those who wait. They said that for a reason. And so sometimes that process is necessary for us to learn what we need to learn. And in today's society, it's becoming so convenient that we're not getting the opportunity to learn. And so I get what Ye is saying. What Ye is saying about some Jewish people, who hold power. They're not invested in the people who are making them wealthy. And at the same token, Ye has been liberated by black people to be a little bit more free with what he says, because it is not black people who are making him wealthy. It's not black people who are buying his merchandise and his content, and they're really not checking for him like that. And it amazes me how black people love to speak on him, but they really don't support him. Like, why would you constantly speak on somebody who you don't support? I can understand if Ye was the president of the United States already, or if Ye was a politician already, and he was making decisions that affected your well-being and affected your livelihood, then I can understand you speaking on him like you speak on him. But I really can't understand you speaking on him like you speaking on him when what he does today or tomorrow does not affect you. It does not. It really doesn't affect you. He's not a politician. He's not a lawmaker. He's not on the Supreme Court. So what he's doing, although it may have some influence right now, it is not shaping your life for you. It is not. It is not impacting the decisions, that will affect you in your day-to-day life. So yeah, but I'm still like, I don't agree with the patriarchy part. I don't agree with the Christianity part. Um, I'm definitely not here for um, for any type of racial supremacy or any type of racial superiority. Um, but I do agree with what Slim Thug said. Be your own master. Don't let another population of people who would not allow you to come into their community and do the same thing to their people come into your community and do that to your direct ancestors. don't, you know. And I know it could get a little confusing for deeply melanated Negro people because at the end of the day, it is my personal belief that everything comes from us. And so sometimes, you know, we can see that connection, you know, even when we can't see that connection, because even when we can't physically see that connection. Because let's be clear, you know, a lot of times it's about bloodline, not skin complexion. And bloodline can change in pigment because you know a dark skinned brother can go and into marry into a Caucasian family, and then the children come up, you know, in a predominantly Caucasian, you know, society, and then the next thing you know, the children go get another Caucasian partner, and so on and so forth, and the next thing you know, generations from now, you know, this black brother or this black woman who done went, this Negro, you know, person or this Negro woman who done went to go and lay with these Caucasian people, um, you can't see the melanin no more. You know, now all you can see is when you're looking at them is Caucasian. But that Negro bloodline is still running through their veins. That Negro blood is still in here. And so, you know, we have to realize that, you know, race isn't always so black and white. You know, race isn't always something that you could just say, you know, it's this or this. Like race is it's a very broad thing depending on how your mind works because it's not really always about how the person looks. It's about the bloodline and it's about them upholding the values of the one who was um, financing the family or the one who attained the wealth and pass that wealth down because they're going to pass down their wealth, but they also going to pass down a culture and a way of being in order to sustain that bloodline, in order to sustain that family name. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it don't always look, it don't always look like, you know, black don't always look like black and white don't always look like white. And vice versa. You know, same thing happened, you know, with Caucasian people. Caucasian people go and marry into black families and marry into Negro families, and then the next thing you know, you got three generations down, you know, um, that same blood running through, you know, these Negro veins, but the intentions, the agenda, and the purpose has changed because if this person integrated into this family, integrated in with these people, what were their intentions? Was it solely because I love this person and I just want to be with them, or is it for another reason? You know, yeah. And it's a lot of that going on. You know, it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of selective breeding happening, and it's been happening for a long time. Selective breeding is nothing new. You know, it's nothing new. So um, I'm here to listen to what everybody has to say, um, to try to have the capacity and the patience. You know what I'm saying? To listen with an open mind and an open heart. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna make my decisions for me as a sovereign person. So, you know, I appreciate Kanye's narrative. I appreciate Ye's narrative. You know, Beyonce said sometimes shit goes down when it's $1 billion on the elevator. Well, what exactly goes down when it's $11 billion on the elevator? You don't think it's gonna be some side eyeball moments? You don't think it's gonna be some tap dancing moments? Some of us will tap dance for a $30 paycheck from a nonprofit organization. And let's be clear, nonprofits are basically plantation sites. Like the nonprofit organizations are created to first of all keep the slaves from dying, because we don't want y'all to go out there and die, because we need our workers. We need our workers up on this plantation. So we need to preserve your life because we need you working. Need you working for massive. So, they have a purpose. That's what they for. We want to take care of our workers, up here on the plantation. exploitation. So, nonprofit entities are created, and this is not hating on nonprofits, because I don't think that everybody who is in the nonprofit sector is there for the intention of being malicious and using people and taking advantage of people. I don't think that everybody who goes into that work goes into it with that intention. But just because you didn't go into it with that intention, that still doesn't mean that that's not what it was created for. The nonprofit and the church is pretty much, they serve the same thing. We got to keep the workers in line. The workers is the slaves. We got to manage the workers and the workers, the AKA the slaves, for massa. Give you a good word on Sunday. Then when the church is closed on Sunday, if you're not a 7-day evangelist, then you go over there to the nonprofit and you get what you need to pacify you through the week so you can continue to make it on the good plantation and do what Master said. Do what Master said. That's right. We all gonna do what Master said. Mm. So, some of us is out here selling out for a $30, $40 an hour job, and then want to sit up here and condemn Kanye because he done sold out for $11 billion. But even with everything that he's done to get to where he at, he's still telling the truth. Whether you want to agree with everything that he's saying or not, some of what he's saying is true. And that's a lot more than we get from other people. That's a lot more than other people are willing to share. That's a lot more than other people are willing to divulge. So when y'all hear the truth, because he's not out here rooting for y'all to stay, in the dark and to not know what's going on. He's telling y'all the truth and y'all don't want to hear it. You know, Rap music ain't what it used to be. And it is okay for, people to rap about, killing Negroes and, Negroes doing drugs and having random sex and not valuing, their partners and not having respect for, and having hate speech and, and all of these things that are toxic to our psyches and our spirits, because our diet does not just consist of what we physically eat, but what we spiritually eat. And Jesus is not enough, boo. Because if it speak half truth, then the religion is false. And if it ain't got you honoring your mother the way you honor your father, then it's a half truth. If this book is talking about men begotten other human beings and leaving out the whole female bloodline, then the religion is false. So, that's the only way I respect his role, I respect what he's here for, but in no way do I completely subscribe to everything that he's saying, just like I don't subscribe to everything that Papa Duck says. I respect his platform, I respect what he says, but I understand that he's also trying to hold on to the patriarch. He just don't want the patriarch to be run by, Caucasians and Jews. He won't. He still want patriarchy, but he want patriarchy dipped in chocolate. You know, and that was easily to understand. Like last night when he was saying he don't get caught up on the hat that Kanye wear or the shirt that Kanye wear, cause that's female stuff. That's girl stuff. That's female stuff. Why you have to label it by gender? Why is gender important? Like why couldn't it just be narrow-minded and petty? Why couldn't it just be simple-minded? Why it had to be girl stuff? Why it had to be female stuff? That's a question I got for a lot of y'all. Like whenever y'all trying to reduce something or minimize something, why does it then have to be girl stuff or female stuff? Make that make sense for me. Because you dishonor your mother, and then you wonder why you out here suffering. Mm. Anyway, I'm finna do this song because I don't even know if y'all heard anything I was saying. Because literally, I've seen people come on and go off. I don't know if it's because of the sound, but we'll find out in a minute. We'll definitely find out. We'll definitely find out in a minute if y'all was able to hear me. I'm gonna do the playback. I know this was like a serious topic, and people be people shy away from serious topics. Especially when I'm not talking about no trans stuff, cause y'all be wanting to hear me talk about trans shit all the time. And it's more to life than trans. And I do kind of agree that maybe all of the Black Lives Matter money did go to the trans community and the LGBT community. Like that stuff might be true. 'Cause the girls got a lot of coins doing COVID and things. The girls were getting coins and coins and coins and coins and coins. So I don't know, that might be true. Let me see.
Okay, so let's record it one more time, and then I'm recording. For the days, oh, yeah. For the days that I'll hold your hand, and I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. And even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. And I wait for the day that I'll hold your hand. And I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. When you see those other girls, you said it was lust, but in my heart I know it's different. They don't know about us, cause I'ma ride for you. Paint a nice picture, forget them other guys. I'm tryna spend my life with you. Cause what we feeling is real. We found love on this battlefield. Cause love is a battlefield. I said love is the best as the sun begins to set and the sky gets dark. The love you give to me chases the rain from my heart. All I see is sunshine. You blow my mind. So hold me like it's the last time. Yes, I'm not worried about what's going on outside of your arms. I'm not worried about what's going on outside of your arms. When there's a storm, when there's a storm, when there's a storm. Yeah. And even if they never do, I'ma still love you. And even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Said I wait for the day that I'll hold your hand. And I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. Cause I feel good. The sunshine chased the rain away. The little children went out to play. Nobody got killed in my hood today. I feel good. The sunshine chased the rain away. The little children went out to play. Nobody got killed in my hood today. Hey, I feel, you feel. Now let me see what this was giving, because one, nobody came in the comment section and let me know, so I'm gonna do this playback and see how it sounded. Um, y'all know we light this candle. Y'all know we light this candle to acknowledge our ancestors who have transitioned this realm today. We honor them. We bless them. Um, so just light the candle in your mind. Hey, chica. So just light the candle in your mind, you know. But I'm gonna go do this playback and see what it's giving and see if I'm gonna have to do this video again. I love y'all. Gambadandandra se quick is spinning and turning in Gani Yango Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. And if I am